Welcome! In this series of short videos, we will introduce PowerBasic to those who have never used it before, or even considered taking up programming. Today we will look at just how portable the PowerBasic development environment actually is. When you are developing software, you may spend quite some time getting your development computer set up with all the tools, applications, and other programs needed to allow you to actually develop code. For a developer, there is nothing worse than starting the day with a development computer that just won't power up, which of course triggers a call to get it repaired. In the meantime, you cannot work. Unless, of course, you have multiple development computers. In such scenarios, it's vital to have backups of both your development environment and the source code you are developing. In the event that the development computer cannot be repaired, you may be faced with the joyous task of reinstalling software. So how well can PowerBasic cope with this? In order to demonstrate this, we're currently looking at a PowerBasic Windows compiler application. This, as you can see from the top of the screen, is running from the K drive. We're currently running the PowerBasic Windows compiler, and we've loaded the Form Runner application, which is one of our recent projects. As you will see from the top of the screen, this is running from my K drive. It just so happens that the K drive in this instance is not within the computer itself. It is running from an external USB drive. This is a SanDisk memory vault. I tend to use these memory vaults for archival, backup and long-term storage, as they come in a remarkably robust stainless steel casing. Unfortunately, this particular model is no longer available. It came in 8GB and 16GB varieties, which is more than enough to store all your PowerBasic environment and a great deal more besides. You can, of course, copy your PowerBasic environment onto other USB drives. For example, this is a SanDisk USB drive which has a capacity of 128GB, which is more than enough for PowerBasic, all your libraries, and probably every piece of code you've ever written. So let's have a look at the SanDisk memory vault to see what we have stored on there. On this drive, which I've said is around 8GB in size, we're currently using only about 512MB of space. And I've divided that between the project we have just been looking at, all the PowerBasic libraries which have been created, and PowerBasic itself. The PowerBasic folder, I have 3 versions of the console compiler and 3 versions of the Windows compiler, and some additional software. While you can run PowerBasic directly off one of these drives, it's an ideal environment for copying on to another computer. So should your primary development computer develop some fault, either with its hard disk or the machine, you can quite easily take your backup USB drive, copy it onto another machine, and start developing again. The only change in the PowerBasic environment you're likely to need to make is to where the include libraries are found. If we go to the Options entry on the menu, you'll see that it has a compiler tab. The compiler tab designates where the include file paths actually exist. At the moment, my primary path is on my E drive. So if I wish to run this directly off my K drive, I could just add another folder and move it to the top of the list. So if you're moving to another machine and installing on a different drive, then this is the one change you need to make. So installing your PowerBasic integrated development environment on another computer is merely a matter of copying from the USB drive onto the new machine. You can then set up desktop shortcuts or toolbar shortcuts and proceed to develop quite normally. This for me is one of the great selling points of PowerBasic. There is no long-winded installation to be done. So with all development, I would suggest taking a lot of backups. You can never have too many backups, and you never know when you might need them. However, that's it for today. Thank you for watching.